Man, this was not one that you saw coming. A lot of the Washington Wizards players were out, and just felt like the ball. Okay, there's a couple of different points that I want to make here, but it really did feel like this was a game where the ball just did not go the Jazz's way, and it went Washington Wizards' way. I usually never like to revert to that, but there were just multiple times where it's like there was one where Olynyk went up and Porzingis for a rebound, and it ended up going in, and then that 3-pointer. I don't even know who shot it on the Wizards. It bounced, got the bounce on the front of the rim, and went in for a 3-point shot. And we just couldn't get enough traction. The thing that stood out to me the most, and I would love for you guys to give a take on this, was Mike Conley. Now, I believe Mike Conley's been intricate to us being this good so far, and a very important piece. But to me, they were keying in on Mike Conley and Jordan Clarkson. As far as Jordan Clarkson, defensively, they had a big guy on him. They seemed like they were playing team defense and just suffocating him. And Clarkson just didn't get his shots off that he usually does. He still had 18 points, but he went 2 for 8 from the 3-point line and 8 for 18. And then as far I need to slow down. As far as Conley, they literally were running the pick and roll every time, and they were just setting a simple pick with Porzingis, and we continue to switch Mike Conley onto Porzingis. And I tweeted out, stop switching the screens. There are a few times we stopped switching and we got the ball out of Porzingis' hands, but Porzingis goes for 31 points. Like, he's good, but he's not that good. He's not 31 and 10. And I also tweeted out during the game, this is a game where Kessler needed to play more. Either put him on Porzingis and make Porzingis drive to the hoop and shoot twos instead of threes. What was Porzingis from 3? 4 for 8, 50%. Come on. If you make Porzingis drive to the basket, he uses more energy, and he doesn't get 31, in my opinion. I would have even preferred to foul him and just get him tired, but it looked like the Jazz were tired tonight, which is really weird because we had 2 days off. It was almost like when you're in a playoff series and you have a 2-day break and you almost like lose your rhythm. It was more like that. It was like we had lost our rhythm and our groove, and mentally we were able to just take a break and we could never get back in it. Now, we only lost by 9 points. There were multiple times where we got within 6. Would I say that we gave ourselves a chance to win? Probably not. Probably not, because it just felt like, 6 was as close as we were ever going to get. I also tweeted Mike Conley came in at like 6 minutes 39, and I said, that's the end. Like, when we made our comebacks and our runs, it was with our young guys. Sexton, THT, Beasley was playing great defense. And then Vanderbilt, I'm guessing his injury got aggravated again because he never came back in the fourth quarter. So once Conley came back in, I just knew the way that they were keying on him and just setting that pick, which is exactly what they went back to on the right-hand side of the floor. Conley comes in, Porzingis sets the screen. They switch it. If he doesn't switch, then Porzingis just goes to the basket. And I believe Will Hardy's done a fantastic job up till this point, and he's made really great adjustments. I would say tonight, Will Hardy also had an off night as far as who to end in the game. I thought Sexton should have ended this game instead of Conley because he had more energy. Clarkson, I could see ending just because we needed threes at the end to try and get some momentum. But Beasley was on fire. I would have had Beasley. I think Beasley actually did finish. I would have had THT, Beasley, and Sexton as the three guards, and then Kessler and Lowry. I was predicting that Olynyk would have went off tonight, and he struggled shooting. He was before tonight leading the league in 3-point percentage, and he may have just lost that. Let's see what he was 4 for 10, so 40%. Not bad. I guess we're so used to him hitting 50% of his shots that him missing one of those feels like an off night. But even from sorry. That was field goal attempts. 3-point line, he hit 2 for 5, which is still 40%. The big thing that jumps off on the box score, and I'm usually not a big box score guy, but this was a weird kind of game. Just the momentum, and it felt like we could not get back on defense, and that may be something that is a downfall with this team. I noticed it during the Atlanta game, and the Wizards may have picked up on that, and they really rammed it down our throats a couple times. I mean, Kuzma had one easy basket. Lowry, you could tell, was screaming, and it's like, you just pick the ball up. Like, don't let the guy go the entire length of the floor. Pick the ball up and let someone else pick up your guy. And Will Hardy called a timeout immediately after that. Welcome, guys. If you guys want to speak, go ahead and request. I'm just getting out on my thoughts real quick. So the thing that jumps out on the box score, we lost by 9 points, and they shot exactly 9 more free throws than us. I was going back and forth a little bit with JC's drip, and he's like, I'm irate at this because Sexton had that and one, or the continuation where he didn't make the basket. It should have been goaltending and continuation. They called the foul on the ground. And then there was another one where THT went in and just totally got fouled and didn't get a call. But overall, I mean, refs can always be not good, but I just felt like the Jazz were not even being aggressive enough to get those fouls called for them. We actually shot really well from the free throw line at 90%. They shot 85, but again, they get 9 more, so 9 more attempts. So if we are a little bit more aggressive, I think we're right there in this game. Turnovers, we have 17, they have 14. Sorry, that's player fouls. We have 12, they had 9. And the assists, see, this is really weird because I said the assists, if we get over 30, I feel like that's our sweet spot, and we got 33 to their 27. So I just felt like this is a game Kessler needed to play more. He got 15 minutes and Olynyk gets 28. I think you swap those minutes and have very different results because he clogs up the middle, and I feel like he could have affected Porzingis a little bit more. Also, I mean, if you have Vando in the fourth quarter, that changes it too. But simply for his rebounding, like we couldn't get a rebound. There was second chance points. I don't have the second chance points pulled up, but I'd be interested in that. So what are your guys' thoughts as far as the Mike Conley thing? Because I felt like that last year when him and Donovan were on the floor together, but like they were just, it was so easy for them to score. All they did was set a pick with Porzingis on Conley. And then it was either if they switch, they throw it to Porzingis and he scores.
Yeah, I agree.
Hang on. Coach Hardy's talking, so save that thought.
Okay.
Sorry.
Long stretch there where we let Washington be very comfortable offensively. We did not communicate picking up the ball in transition. They were able to get some easy looks, and they got in a rhythm because of our lack of defensive intensity, and credit to them. They shot the crap out of it tonight, and that's because they played great, and we did not help ourselves on the defensive end with our communication, our aggressiveness, guarding the ball, helping our teammates. Our game offensively was fine. We had 33 assists on 44 baskets and made 14 threes. But the team defense tonight was not there. We fouled too much. So we got to bounce back tomorrow, but credit to the Wizards. They played a great game. Glad we get to play tomorrow.
On the transition piece stuff, I mean, is that literally just pointing out the best who or kind of ways, especially when you talk about
Kyle Kuzma, I believe, had just gone full court with his right hand and shot a layup after a made basket, only because no one picked up the ball. And because of how we play offensively, because of us trying to crash the glass, there are always going to be cross matches getting back on defense. That's just a part of the game based on how we play offensively. So with as much switching as there is in the NBA as well, it contributes to a lot of cross matches. And so communication early in the shot clock defensively is imperative. And we did a very poor job of that tonight.
How would you describe Lowry's game?
I don't think you saw Lowry's best game. I thought he was okay. I thought he did a decent job offensively, picking his spots. I think defensively, like a lot of our team, it wasn't his best night, but I don't think that's, necessarily individual to Lowry. I wouldn't single him out as the reason that we lost tonight. It was a group effort on the defensive end. But Lowry played fine.
Audio's
terrible. I would have liked to have seen us fight a little bit harder. I would have liked to have seen us not foul him shooting jump shots in the first half. A great player like that gets to go to the free throw line and see a bunch go in. It really helps him get in his rhythm, and then he hits some tough ones, like get that step back in the first half at the end of the shot clock, which, that's a great player making a great play. But we can't help great players get in a rhythm by being undisciplined.
You're saying like that guy after the switch, the small guy, guarding Kristaps, or like trying to prevent the switch?
We can try to prevent the switch, but once the switch happens, we have to do a better job of sitting down and getting underneath that guy and not letting him just walk us down to where he wants to catch the ball. Yeah.
You guys didn't go on a front tonight?
We did not.
Do you think that was something you want to address in terms of aggressiveness, or is that just
I thought our team was relatively aggressive. I think there were some times where we could have done a better job playing through contact, but that's the nature of the sport. Sometimes you end up at the free throw line a lot, and sometimes you don't. But I don't think that it was because we didn't drive the ball or attack the basket. I thought there were some plays where we probably started pivoting instead of playing through the contact and going up to the rim, but I'd have to watch those on film. But I don't think that the free throws was necessarily because we didn't try to attack the rim.
Obviously, one of the team's calling guards has done that effort defensively. Mm-hmm. Why do you think they won that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's there's a lot of games during an NBA season, and some nights the communication is just a little bit off. I don't think it stems from like a want to or an effort. I think when the communication isn't sharp, you end up behind the curve on a lot of plays, and so it's hard to make up for it with just raw effort. I think the games previous to this, we've been much better at communicating, and it's helped us be in solid position to start the possessions. But if you let NBA players get daylight or get around the corner just because of your communication, it's hard. It's hard to stop them. So I think it started with our communication, and then it's hard for the effort to catch up to that.
Do you think part of that communication might be like so many guys want so many different things left here and you can't just basically kind of get worked out?
I'm not sure that's the case. I mean, that's part of what we're doing as a group is we're continuing to get more and more on the same page every day. But this is the 14th game of the year, and I thought it was our worst game communication-wise defensively. So, there's things that we have to continue to work out as a staff and as a team. But I'm not sure that tonight was because of the newness of the group.
Think about it. Only 4 fast break points. They only force 9 turnovers. They only create 11 free throw opportunities. All those equal the same thing, right? Not enough intensity, not enough action, not enough.
Yeah, so these guys are kind of hitting on what we hit on, but I think when Hardy goes back and watches film, he'll disagree as far. I know, well, I guess playing through contact, but the Washington Wizards remind me a lot of our team, like with the length that they have. I mean, Kuzma, Porzingis, and that what's his name, Avdija. They were all standing together, and they looked about the same size. And I feel like their length really hurt us on what we were trying to do offensively. But let's go back to whoever was speaking before Coach Hardy came on. Go ahead and Mike's yours.
No, I was just going on Mike Conley, and I know we definitely saw it. I know all the Jazz fans are heartbroken. We saw that in the playoffs last year. They kind of just were hunting for Conley every time. Whether it was Brunson, whether it was Luka, whether it was whoever it was, they were just trying to get Conley. But I think we lost the game tonight. Like what Hardy was saying is we shot the ball well. We had 33 assists on 44 baskets. Obviously we went cold for a little bit there, but offensively, I don't think we had a horrible night. I don't think it was our best night, but I don't think we had a bad night. I think we 100% lost this game defensively, and the pick and roll just killed us. I mean, it seemed the whole entire game, as soon as they went to the pick and roll, they were going to get a bucket out of it. When we started coming back, 6-point game, pick and roll, get the switch, and they would just go to business. And it was really frustrating because, I mean, I know you were touching on it, saying don't switch, and just switched and switched and switched. And it seemed like there was no energy or no hustle to fight over the screen or get around the screen or go under the screen or just try to fight so you didn't have to switch. And unfortunately, this is one of those, I guess, I would say trap games, because, I mean, Jazz weren't favored in most of their games so far this year, but we were definitely favored in this one, and especially without Bradley Beal. It's a tough loss. I mean, definitely a winnable game. Shot the ball okay, but I would have liked to, again, see a little bit more minutes for Walker Kessler defensively, and I would have liked – I know he had a good game tonight, but again, he's just looking like it's – every game he looks like he's closer to retirement and Rudy Gay. I would love to see less minutes from him, and Colin Sexton should have played a lot more as well. I think he, again, young bull, he seems to always have energy. And then just to finish up on it is, I think if Vando's in the fourth quarter, I think maybe we have a little bit better of a shot. Again, I don't think defensively we were that good. But obviously you add a guy like Vando in, 6'9", athletic, and long. He can definitely get you some defensive rebounds and who knows, maybe some second chance points as well and get some stops. But definitely frustrating, and thought we should have been better.
Yeah, thanks for your thoughts. I agree with you. Like, as far as the Mike Conley and pick and roll, it's like, okay, at least try something different. Go under, go over, send a double team at Porzingis, but we just kept doing the same thing over and over. And the point that gave me hope in this game, I know that it was probably our worst game of the season, and even Hardy said, is our worst communicating or our worst game as far as communication goes. But even that being said, you had players that were playing well. Vando or Beasley was hitting his shots and digging in on defense. I feel like he should have got, let's see how many minutes he got. Beasley, 29, so that's good. Sexton should have stayed in, and THT. And then Kessler, like, I had hope that Coach Hardy was going to leave those guys in to finish, and then Lauri Markkanen, Kessler, and those 3 guards. that I felt like we're digging in defensively. And this really was a game that came down to we needed stops because offensively, we weren't on fire like we usually are. I mean, they only hit 2 more 3-pointers than us. They shot more effective, 44% to our 35%. And from the field, we made the same amount of baskets. So that's what I was saying earlier is it comes down to the free throws. Like they had 11 more attempts. I just feel like if you get a little bit closer, you get some juice going. But yeah, thanks for sharing your thoughts. Let's go over to, let's see. I think no, not everybody's requested. If you other guys want to talk on here, we would love to hear from you. But let's go over to Dallin. Let's hear your thoughts, buddy, and save your Rudy Gay comments because we're about to really get into that in a later segment.
No, I was just gonna open a can on him, but no. They are very long and athletic and have a lot of guys that can handle the ball that are long and athletic. And I feel like Doncic or Jokic or a Porzingis type are the ones that are exposing us like crazy. And like you were saying, that they just switch on Mike Conley and just take advantage of that mismatch. Yeah, Vando being gone, I didn't know means so much, but I don't know that, like, we weren't, the defensive intensity, like Will Hardy was saying, just wasn't there. We weren't engaged enough. On the offensive end, the ball stuck a lot more. It wasn't the team effort that we're used to seeing, that we've seen the first 13 games. I thought that Taylor Horton-Tucker would just have the ball and just do some crazy turnaround fadeaway shots, and it was just irritating. And then Rudy Gay along with that. I mean, we will obviously get into that, but just some guys that shouldn't have been taking shots, or the ball should have been rotating more.
Yeah, and if you go to the box score, like I feel like Sexton was kind of getting into a groove. He ended up with 17 points, shot well from the field, 6 for 9. So that's why I just feel like he's 10 times the defender that Conley is. And if you keep switching that screen and leaving a guard on Porzingis, at least Sexton can get up into him and is quicker if Porzingis tries to go around him. I know they tried that with Beasley a few times. Or Beasley, I believe, was guarding Kuzma. And then Taylor Horton-Tucker, he led the box score in plus minus with 13. So I felt like he does have some questionable shots, but he had 12 points, hit a 3. And I just feel like Horton-Tucker is one to have in for the defensive end. Over Clarkson, possibly. Clarkson can light it up, but when you need defense, and we just need a defense, and maybe Washington Wizards figured something out with us because they were running the ball a lot like the Hawks, but Kuzma's size, he had 23. What's his name? This Avdija shoots 4 for 6.
He's a nice player.
Yeah, he was good. He really impressed me. He's got length. This other Kispert finished with 18. So, like, if you look at their box score, Hachimura had some great plays, finished with 11. They were really balanced. And to me, it just felt like the roles were reversed a little. Like, it felt like they were us tonight, and we were just, the ball was not dropping on a few plays. There was that 1 3 that hit the front of the rim and somehow bounced in, like when the momentum felt like it was kind of finally shifting our way. They hit that shot, and there's another one where Olynyk went up and for a rebound with Porzingis, and it ended up going in their basket. Just like, what the heck? So sometimes the ball just doesn't fall and it rolls the other team's way. And at the end of the night, we still only lost by 9.
Right.
So yeah, it was for sure our worst performance of the game, our worst performance of the season so far. But let's go over to Tevin. Let me get you on here. Go ahead, man.
You talking to me?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy, you're on.
No, I totally agree with that last sentiment. The ball just was not falling for us. There's just some nights where it's not your night, and tonight was not our night. Our defense, of course, wasn't great. I think I counted like 3 times when between Bowler and Big T, they were like, all right, we got to get some stops, because like the Jazz were getting to the rack quite a few times and knocking a 3 or 2 down, and they just couldn't stop the Wizards on the other side. So credit to the Wizards tonight for getting some buckets as well and stopping us here and there. But man, we just could not get stops and then capitalize on getting those stops. So
yeah, and looking at the box score, there's not huge discrepancies. Even with the free throw percentage, we shot 5% better. Turnovers, we had 3 more than them. Blocks, they had 5 more than us. So that's, if that leads to fast break points, that's a big deal. Steals about the same. They had 2 more. Assists, we had more. Rebounds, they out rebounded us by 4. So like we were there, but yeah, the energy just felt different. The next question I have, and maybe someone else that hasn't spoken answer this: if they have Bradley Beal, does that change everything? Like, is this a game that we got caught because they didn't have Bradley Beal and we didn't know what to expect?
no, I think we lose this by a significant more bigger margin than we did already, because Bradley Beal is oh my gosh, he's a guy.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I imagine Bradley Beal running that pick and roll with Porzingis and us just getting slaughtered.
Well, not just Porzingis. Like, imagine him with Kuzma, like, and then you got Kuzma and the other guy you were just talking about. That's other really long. It's kind of like, yeah. Well,
is that kid a rookie? Yeah. Do you guys know?
Oh, no, Rui's been in the league for a minute now. He's what, 4 or 5 years in?
No, the Avdija guy.
Oh, Dija's been in. I think he's year 3.
I've never heard of him until tonight.
He's year 2 right now. Yeah. Oh, he's sophomore. Okay, yeah. I knew he'd been in for a minute, but anyway, yeah. But both of those guys with length, like, I can just imagine between Rui Hachimura, who I really, really love, Porzingis and Kuzma just running pick and rolls with Bradley Beal, and then between Rui and Kuzma just kind of running the point, then maybe like a point forward almost, and then finding Bradley Beal in the corner for an open 3. Like, yeah, we would have lost by a significant more margin with Bradley Beal on the floor, because he's a talent, man.
Yeah, it feels like these guys have kind of got something figured out. This is their 3rd win in a row. Last game, they beat the Dallas Mavericks by 8. And then they've also beat the 76ers by 10. They've beat the Detroit Pistons as well. But yeah, like before this game, we were kind of talking, oh yeah, this is a for sure win. But I think this team's better than we actually think they are.
Yeah, I honestly think that they're on par with Atlanta. They have a lot of good role players that I didn't know about. So,
well, and Will Barton, we haven't even talked about him. I mean, he's a defensive guy that comes over from Denver. He had a big dunk on Jordan Clarkson tonight. But yeah,
he bodied Clarkson and THT, man. Holy cow!
Yeah, not many people body THT either. So, yeah, I feel like this team is actually a pretty good team. I'm not terribly upset. I mean, I think coming in, I chalked it up as just like a for sure win. But after watching them, I don't know if they were just on fire tonight, but they look like a really decent team and are kind of built like us with length. They've got people that can defend, but also people that can shoot and create offensively. I actually like Hachimura a lot too. He didn't get a ton of minutes tonight. Let's see how many he got, but he's super effective when he did. Never mind. 29 minutes, 11 points, 4 rebounds. But he's just a good, nice, big, good, nice, big boy.
Is it just me or so this is the third Washington I can't remember the other 2 games that Washington's played that I think it was against like Houston or somebody else. Anyway, I've watched Rui because I really like him.
Yeah.
He is a Jordan brand player. He's gotten some really cool special edition shoes. Anyway, going off on a tangent there. I feel like he specifically has a whole other level that he can get to. Like, I feel like once he gets more of a kind of a handle and gets more point guard like skills, I guess I could say, where he's really kind of taking the reins of, let me just kind of do my own thing, almost kind of like a Lauri Markkanen or a Jokic or a Giannis type of idea, where he just kind of does his own thing. I think that will be his next big step and really get into the driving to the lane, getting foul, all that other shit. I think that's probably his a really big step that he can make, and he'll be a legit all-star.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm kind of with you. He doesn't feel like he's been fully unleashed, and that could just be because Porzingis is ahead of him, and a lot of their offense runs through him. But I mean, he's a big body that's mobile, and it seems like he could be down there and bang with some bigger guys too. I know that he might be a little undersized as far as like a true center, but yeah, I mean, he would be the closest thing to their true center, in my opinion. But let's dive in to the Rudy Gay discussion, because Jazz Twitter once again was going off on him tonight. Let me just read his stats before, so we don't totally bash the guy, but I'm open to bashing him actually. He finishes with 8 points, 2 for 4 from the 3-point line, and 3 for 6. So like he shot 50%, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, no turnovers, +8. But seems like Jazz fans just can't stand when he's on the floor. How do you guys feel?
Yup. Yup.
Come on, let loose.
Knees, man. He's got an old body. You can tell he does not want to hardly bend down at all.
I don't know if you guys saw there were a couple plays where there was one where he was standing on, I think it was on the left side wing, and Lauri was calling for it for like a solid 7 seconds. He's like, dude, I got I can't remember who was, I don't know if it was Kuzma or who was on him, but Lauri was calling for it for a solid 7 seconds. And it seemed like Rudy was like, dude, get out of the way. I got this. And Lauri was like, no, give me the ball. And finally he gave it to him, and he would have had an easy turnaround layup or dunk or something. And he had to settle for a 3. Luckily, Lauri made it, but oh my gosh. So there was that. And then one other play where Rudy Gay just totally found himself in a terrible situation in the post, and holy cow, there was a miracle where he just turned around and made a tough turnaround shot. That was a miracle in my opinion. I'm like, all right, I'll give you that one, Rudy Gay, but I want you off the floor right now, because give me a Baji minutes or something, man. I want something else besides Rudy Gay minutes right now.
All right, let's turn it over to Armani at A Money. He just requested, and I believe you're a first-time speaker, so let loose.
That was 17 minutes of useless basketball. That shit was hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at the box score, and even you got to think Will Hardy. A lot of people are saying, yeah, Hardy's good, but what my one bone to pick with Coach is why is he playing Rudy Gay? And you look at the box score, it's like, okay, he shot 50%, so, but it just feels like he doesn't belong on this team at all. When he gets the ball, he's totally looking to score, and then besides that, he's not giving you anything else if he's not scoring.
Rudy's hard to watch.
Yeah, that thought comes to me.
Yeah, that's it. Rudy's just hard to watch.
Yeah, go back to my timeline. I retweeted about every hate tweet there was about Rudy tonight, and some are pretty funny.
Go. Maybe we should just send release Rudy Gay and just say to heck with it. We're just gonna release him and send him over to let him go to the dumpster fire that's
Dude.
LA right now.
Yeah, in my opinion, they just need to buy him out. Like, just get him off the team. The one guy that stands out to me is give the minutes to Fontecchio. Like, he had the one good game against Houston. He got in the fourth quarter, hit some shots. He's about the same size. Like, give that experience to Fontecchio. I don't care if Fontecchio misses every single shot, but at least he's in there getting experience and building. Like, Rudy Gay is not going to be on this team next year, or hopefully not even the rest of this year.
Fontecchio would also try a little bit more on defense, and he's a little more athletic, and he's younger.
Yeah,
Funny enough about the LA thing is that I think Rudy Gay would actually be a positive
for LA.
For LA.
Yeah, but they're so bad. Anything's positive with them.
I was going to say at this point, just throw Rudy Gay in the mix and see if it works. But no, I totally agree. I think Fontecchio needs to get in there. I can totally see him fouling out. If for whatever miracle, if Rudy Gay ends up being released here in the next game or two, and Fontecchio ends up taking those minutes, he'll probably foul out in the next 5 games. But I'm okay with that because he needs to gain the experience and learn the game here in the NBA, and he'll learn very quickly. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, there's even a tweet of someone saying give the minutes to Ochai, which, yeah, I agree. And if you paid any attention to the Salt Lake Stars game, Agbaji just shot terribly and basically produced nothing in that Salt Lake City Stars G League game. So it makes you a little bit worried, but yeah, give it to anybody else. Like, man, even Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I know they're not the same size.
Minutes that could have been distributed between Vando and Clarkson only played 25 minutes. I'm not comfortable with that when you have Malik Beasley playing 25. He only played 25 minutes.
Yeah, I think
Beasley played 29 minutes.
I think Coach was trying to figure something out defensively, and he went for Clarkson defensively and didn't give as many minutes when it really needed to be Conley. But I think Vanderbilt re-aggravated his injury. Re-aggravated his injury because he didn't even play in the fourth quarter at all, and that doesn't make sense to me that he doesn't play in the fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, if he had re-aggravated it, then that don't make sense because he only played 17 minutes.
Yeah.
Remind me how Vando got injured. Was it like a calf or something like that, or am I what?
It's like an adductor. I don't know what the fuck an adductor is.
Yeah, it's like your hip. I looked it up, but I couldn't tell you. It's
interesting. All right.
Yeah. So
he didn't re-aggravate it, and they just took him out at any sign of discomfort. That's what I'm.
Well, I think
there's a real reason he didn't play in the fourth quarter, and that has to be the injury because there's no reason he shouldn't have been out there.
Yeah, I think at times we'll be okay without Vando, but like this was a game we definitely needed him with Kuzma and Porzingis. He's got to be guarding one of those guys.
Well, I feel like we could have had Walker Kessler out there on the court.
Did Sexton leave the game early too?
Did Sexton leave the game early? No, he just pulled.
No, yeah, they put Conley in at like the 6-minute mark.
They said that he walked back to the locker room.
Oh, for real? No, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know that on the Washington Wizards broadcast.
When you said they said what?
That Sexton walked back to the locker room. I mean, if that's the case, then okay, but yeah, because I feel like Sexton, THT, and Beasley should have been the guards finishing that game. I know that maybe we're a little bit undersized, but they were giving us all the juice.
Sexton should have closed that game out.
I feel like a lot of our close games is because Lowry is not getting the ball.
Yeah, Lowry had
he needs to get the ball.
He had an abysmal game. Let me see. They showed the stats when Coach Hardy was talking. I believe he had like 4 points in the first half and 2 rebounds or something. So he finishes the game with 5 rebounds, 17 points. So 14 of those came in the second half. But yeah, he was a negative.
it's about 7 times I've seen in that game he had mismatches.
Yeah.
Where he had complete control and he did not get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't.
Need to stop doing that shit. The guards. There's certain spots in the game where the guards just go a little ISO crazy when he has a mismatch, and it makes no sense.
Yeah. He, out of the entire team, he was -23, the worst of the entire team. And he honestly, he just needs to toughen up. There was one time he had Kuzma in the post and he pump fakes Kuzma. And I was watching the game with my grandpa tonight, and my grandpa goes, "What the hell is he pump faking Kuzma for? Just go."
You talking about the hook shot?
Yeah, and he missed it. And my grandpa just like, go dunk it on Kuzma. Like you're the big guy, like be the enforcer. And I feel like that's the one downgrade on Markkanen is he's got to learn how to just turn on a savage mode and go for it and draw the fouls.
I think it's because they didn't call 2 fouls for him where he possibly could have got them fouls where he's just like, I don't know. I think I've seen that a lot where if the refs miss a foul call, it'll probably be like another 2 possessions where he'll just start playing a little soft.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I felt like the refs also didn't want to call too many fouls on Washington. I don't know what the deal was, but it seemed a little lopsided to me. So
yeah, and I'm okay with that because like at some point, even especially in the playoffs, like they're not going to call it, and our team needs to learn how to, like Coach said, play through it and toughen up. But let me read you this stat because as I'm looking through the box score, I know I said that the difference in free throws was what was the difference in this game. But here, just listen to this. Kelly Olynyk, 0 free throws. Lauri Markkanen, 0 free throws. Vanderbilt, 0 free throws. Clarkson, 0 free throws. Fontecchio only got 2 minutes, 0 free throws. Rudy Gay, 0 free throws. Walker Kessler, 0 free throws. Sexton is the only guy that shot 100% and shot 4 free throws. And he's a guy that attacks the rim. So that's what I'm saying is like our team needs to attack the rim more like Sexton. Beasley, 0 free throws. Horton-Tucker also attacks the rim, had 6. So out of our entire team, 3 players shot free throws.
I'm surprised that number isn't higher when the 3-point. It seemed like the 3-point wasn't really happening. The shot wasn't falling. I'm surprised they didn't attack the rim more. Because if the outside isn't working, you go inside.
No, the rim was getting attacked a little bit. Just the rest wasn't being friendly. They weren't being friendly because there was a couple times where Jordan Clarkson took it to the rim, no foul. Who else? What's his name? I gotta look at the box score.
But I mean, the big thing is you got to make the refs call the foul, right? Like none of our big guys got a free throw. Are you shitting me?
Yeah,
none of our big guys pump fake someone enough.
And if it means you get a technical for the refs to finally actually look inside and maybe call a foul, then so be it. But you gotta make a play and make it so the refs have to make a call.
Yeah, I agree. Like if the refereeing is that bad, you get a technical and fire your team up or fire yourself up, something. But for Conley, Sexton, and Horton are the only ones that shoot free throws. That to me is
shit. And Conley free throw was a technical in the first half. We only had one free throw in the first half. Bro.
Yeah, like, so don't count that one for him. Yeah, but that's like. That to me comes down to mental toughness, especially if the three's not falling. Like you've got to dig in, and even if you're tired, be able to get the energy to drive in and take the contact.
Yeah, I think the defense was just a little bit frustrating. I mean, I think we finally got it within, I think it was 5 or 6 points late in the fourth quarter. And then I don't think anyone was buying in. It was kind of like Jazz last year where, a few players are trying and the rest are kind of just, whatever. I mean, we got within like 5 or 6 points, and then the next play, right down the middle, there's no one there. And it was like, all right, that's to me, I was like, all right, the game's over. Like, they're just not. Then it was, went up to 9 points again, then it went to 10 points again. And I was like, all right, this is just not going to happen.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
frustrating.
felt the same way. I think I was holding on to hope because these guys have pulled through in so many different games this season. I was like, maybe they can figure it out, but they just didn't. We've got a few comments. I'm trying to get to them.
The main problem was like I had put in the comments is that our two weaknesses were the Wizards' point of emphasis this game, which was getting out on the fast break and then our paint defense.
Yeah.
And we had no rim protection, especially if you have Vanderbilt not playing, and then Walker only played, I don't know, maybe like 6 minutes, I think. I don't even remember him really
15.
playing like that. That was 15 minutes?
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Yeah.
This is probably the first game where I was questioning Will Hardy in any way, and that would be to why he didn't play Walker Kessler.
Because he needed to be guarding Porzingis because he's mobile enough to actually guard it.
Yeah, and I think Will Hardy has done such a good job up to this point. Like, okay, we'll give you a few, but like if this becomes something,
100%.
most fans will be pissed. So let's see. Armani says, oh yeah, sorry. Beasley played 29. And then it looks like Dallin, you said you took a screenshot of Kyle Kuzma lover. He went to the locker room at the end of the third. I'm guessing that was Sexton. Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Washington Wizards broadcast talked about it at the end of the third quarter.
All
I was
right.
listening to him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, before the game, I said, knowing the Jazz, this is one that they'd probably give up, and we'll look back at the end of the season and say, man, that's one we should have won. We've got another one, luckily, tomorrow against the Philadelphia 76ers, which
that's going to be brutal.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm excited.
That can shoot and switch off on. That's
Walker better play at least 20 minutes. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah, I think that's I felt like this the last few games, especially with like Clint Capella that we were going up against, that Kessler needs to start. And
he needs to start.
I think that Olynyk will actually do better against second units and be more effective.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's the next progression that I'm looking for this team is Kessler to start. I don't even care if he gets more minutes than Olynyk, but he needs to match up with their true centers more often and be in there for rebounding. So,
see, but I think the problem is where it lands is that we can't play Vanderbilt and Kessler at the same time.
I think there's certain lineups that you might be able to, especially if like Markkanen's on there for scoring. The big thing with Vanderbilt is his offense. Like they weren't even guarding him at points. And if you look at his percentage on the year, he's shooting 50% from the 3-point line. So it's like, bro, if you're open, you gotta just fire those up.
Yeah, teams would just sag off at Kessler and Vando if we had them both on the court. So they would just focus on those other three players.
Even if Vando misses those 3-point shots, at least they have to think about coming out and guarding him, and then you can swing the ball around the court or get someone cutting for a different look.
If I'm the other team, I live with him shooting threes, though.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to let him shoot. He's going to shoot 4 or 5 of them, hopefully make 2 of them, and they're going to go, oh, wait, maybe we should go out and guard him.
Bro, he's shooting 50%. Like, shoot until you're below 40%. That's my take.
Right. No, I agree. I don't know. I'm so hesitant because wasn't a good shooter before. So
yeah.
We're gonna make him a good shooter. Dang it.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's slowly just like he's got some confidence with his 50%. So if he feels like, hey, I need to pass the ball, I'm okay with that if he becomes a better 3-point shooter. But at some point, it affects your offense. I felt like it affected it a little bit tonight, as far as one guy in the middle of the key, and then he's dribbling around trying to hand it off to somebody or find somebody to pass it to. Like, if you're not going to shoot the 3, then at least drives really hard at the guy that's sagging off of you and draw a charge or make the other guy foul you.
Yeah, I just don't know how good of a ball handler he is.
Yeah, he's not. He's not a good one at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got another game tomorrow, so I'm gonna end this because I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Armani, appreciate you jumping on, and we do this before and after every game, so feel free if you want. I can add you to our little private text message. I send out alerts, but every time it seems like yeah, it's fun. Every time we seem like we get new people in here talking and growing this community. So if you miss one, we've got the podcast too. I record all these, so go follow at Jazzketball on Apple, Spotify, Google, whatever you listen to podcasts on. And we will see you guys 30 minutes before tip-off tomorrow against the Philadelphia 76ers. They are currently beating down the Atlanta Hawks 89-62. Let's see how much time's left. They're in the third quarter. Boston looks like it's going to beat Detroit again. The game I had my eye on was at Portland, Dallas. Dallas has beaten Portland 50-33 in the second quarter. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Leave us comments, reviews on podcast. If you want to join in live on Twitter, at Jazzketball, and go Jazz, baby. See you guys.